ADHD Babes, the podcast, a podcast hosted by the ADHD Babes community for the community. Please note, nothing mentioned during the podcast is meant as a diagnosis. If you believe you have ADHD, please seek professional advice and visit or join ADHDBabes.com for help with diagnosis. No clinical diagnosis is required to join. And now, you're listening to the next episode of ADHD Babes, the podcast.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of ADHD Babes, the podcast. We are so grateful to have all the babes who have been riding with us, whether you're brand new or you've been listening since the beginning. Hello. Make sure you hit the follow button so you don't miss out, and we would love if you could leave a rating, a review, and share the podcast with someone you love. Today's episode is hosted by me, Jules.
By me, Anna, and today's episode is a really special one. We're celebrating 5 whole years of ADHD Babe. That's half a decade of community care, laughter, healing, and growth. And to mark this milestone, we are pulling back the curtains to introduce you all to the heartbeat of this neurodivergent-led organization. Please welcome the incredible women behind ADHD Babes, Viv, Aisha, and Shauna.
They honestly need no introduction, but just in case you're new here, me, Vivienne, aka Viv, who is the founder, managing director, and director of community outreach and wellbeing, Shauna, the podcast director, and Ayesha, the company secretary. And also you manage the knitting group, right?
Yeah,
is that
knit and
correct?
sip. Yes.
Ayesha.
Yes.
Yay!
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Let's get to know them individually with a quick icebreaker. So, if you could describe your ADHD journey in a song title, what would it be?
I feel like Shauna's itching to go. So, Shauna, let's start with you. Shauna, you look like you're like, yeah, I got one.
No, I'm just like, for me, I don't know. I don't know if it's a journey more so than a mentality, but I'm gonna go All of Me by John Legend. And the reason I'm gonna go All of
Wow.
Me is because it's a journey of like loving myself as who I am and making sure the people around me love me for who I am. And so that's my song. And I love singing it too, so
Amazing choice. Amazing choice.
I love
that's
that.
my choice. Don't mean to make it hard for you guys, just saying.
You did.
Yeah, the energy has
Started strong.
Yes.
I think I'm a bit torn between two, so I'm going to go with one. The second one, I think it would be Misunderstood by Nina Simone. I think partly because the journey was thinking I had autism and getting assessed for that, and then finding the ADHD, and then the whole, oh my gosh, this is why people didn't understand me for so long and didn't understand myself for so long. So I think, but that thing of like always having good intentions, but people not seeing that because they'll just see the symptoms. That journey of like understanding why that was the case for so long, I think that was a prominent thing. So yeah, we'll go with that.
I love it.
And you, Ayesha?
I think there's a couple that I would like to choose as well, but I think the one that I'll go for just on a different energy is probably Pow by Lethal B. And then sort of similar. Because like it was a shock, as in Pow. I didn't go in for an ADHD assessment, so I was just struggling at uni. And then I went in for like an all-rounder type assessment, and then within that assessment led to an ADHD assessment. So it was like, oh, okay, you've got ADHD, when really all I wanted was some extra time for my coursework because I was really struggling. And then, he's got some lines like, if you don't know about me, sometimes I don't know about myself. or like, yeah, sometimes I may not fit into what the stereotypical expectation of ADHD is as well. Um, so yeah, I feel like it's always a little bit of a shock, a little bit exciting as well.
Amazing.
Now I've got that
I'd
song
love
in
to
my
know
head.
yours, Anna. Do you have one?
I do, but it's in Spanish. So
That's
it'll
okay.
be.
Same for the Spanish speakers.
Because people gotta know
So
too.
so there's this song by someone called Celia Cruz, which is very well known in the Latin American community, and she's Cuban. She's one of the like one of the salsa singers as a woman back in the 60s. And her song is called Carnival. And the song talks about how, you know, life is a carnival. It's a happy place to be. You have your up and downs, and you know, you have your lows, and people may be sad and misunderstanding you and all of that, but you should continue to be happy. So yeah, I don't want to sing it in Spanish.
Next time.
But that's my favorite one. Yes.
Everyone's frantically YouTubing this song now.
I'll do a little bit. Todo aquel que piensa que la vida no es así, tiene que saber que no es igual, porque la vida es una aventura. Hay que vivirla, todo aquel que piense, and that's it, and that's it, and that's it, and it goes.
I love it. I love it.
Now, Jules, you're gonna have to do one as well now. I'm sorry, you have to say yours.
And that's why I left myself till last, because I didn't have one in my head.
Do you know? You're like, oh, yeah, I
But
know.
to be honest with you, I did actually think of one. I had the artist in my head, and it's Jasmine Sullivan after that hurricane. It feels
Oh,
like, you know, when you feel like you don't know what it is, it just feels like there's just so many things and there's not an answer, but you get the answer, and now it's kind of like you're coming out of it and you're sort of like, it's the whole feeling of like unmasking and being the new version of yourself. And I feel like that song really proper like resonates. Might sound like a really sad song,
amazing.
but you know,
No, not at all.
but
In my
yeah.
That's
head,
for
I was
sure.
like, is it going to be Frank Ocean though?
I was thinking, but I was like, oh, that's me just making it too obvious now. Everyone's going to be like, girl, what are we doing here? Is it really?
But if you like it, you like it.
Yes.
What?
I'll
That's
switch it up
it.
to my next favorite artist, which is Jasmine. So yeah.
Yeah.
So let's start at the beginning. Um, I guess I will start off with Viv. What brought you to ADHD Babes? And what made you want to be a part of this movement, not just as a member, but as someone who helps build it? I feel like
So
that was quite chunky.
the reason the reason I started ADHD Babes originally was just wanting to find other black women that had ADHD, specifically actually in London, because at first it was a Facebook group. I was diagnosed quite late, and I literally just didn't know any other black people with ADHD. So there was just this like loneliness and not knowing how to navigate it, what it looks like for black people. When I was like Googling things and going to spaces, there were just no other people that looked like me. So it felt like, yeah, there was just no space for what it looked like for us as a people. So yeah, really it was born out of that loneliness and wanting to connect with other people. And then as a community was growing and building from the Facebook to the WhatsApp group, it just like was very organic. As we come together as a collective, there's just something really beautiful about us as a community, which meant it was very easy for us to keep growing and yeah, expanding. And then the other two co-founders, at the time, we just got together and made a plan, jumped off social media. We asked the group chat, you know, what should we call ourselves? ADHD Babes got the highest vote. And then we just went from there. So yeah, it was very much from a place of loneliness, but as the time grew, it then came from a place of pride. It was like, actually, this community is beautiful. Like, what else can we do? Like, what else? How far can we go? What do people need? All right, cool. Let's see if we can make it happen. So yeah, it's been that.
Yeah. And then we can I'm gonna ask everyone. So Ayesha, yourself?
Yes. If you can remind me of the question, please.
So what brought you to ADHD Babes? What made you want to be a part of the movement, not just as a member, but as someone helping build it?
So for many of our members, and the team, you'll know that Vivienne and I have been friends for a really long time. So I came to know of ADHD Waves, of course, because my friend was running it and it was becoming a thing. So it started of like just going to things or supporting Vivienne in what she was doing in her venture. Eventually, I was then diagnosed with ADHD as well, and it was really important to like, listen to the language that ADHD Babe uses because I'm like, oh wow, wait, hold on, is that what I need? Is this what's been missing? Is this something I didn't realize? So it was becoming a member in that way as well, and understanding, wow, this also benefits me, and these are things that I didn't know about myself. And then also seeing what ADHD Babe offers and how it helps the community and it growing and growing. So it's like, yeah, no, I need to be involved. I need to see how I can be involved, help this grow, and meet loads of nice people along the way as well.
That. Um, and
Amazing.
and you, Shauna?
For me, I joined as a member probably about year two, beginning of year two. Um, and I just immediately felt the sense of understanding that I'd never felt before. And I was like, there was a lot of people out there like me who won't stumble across them on Instagram, and the voices and the opinions and the experiences of everyone that were in the support group sessions that I was in, um, I felt it needed to be amplified. And I was kind of looking for a new project, and I was kind of like, I want this to be my project. This I can get behind because I felt instantly that this is what passion really felt like really having something that you were totally interested in, that you totally could be behind. And I didn't feel like I felt that like that before. Um, and obviously meeting not just Viv, but everybody else in the sessions that we can, you had that sense of everyone was like understand, like they knew where you were coming from, and I was like, okay, how can I kind of give back? And kind of was like, I'm looking to do a new podcast project. Um, have you ever thought about doing a podcast for ADHD Babes? And Viv was like, girl, I ain't got the time. Like, I really want to do this. I was like, can I do it? And she believed in me, which was nice because she didn't really know me that well. We connected in a couple of spaces, met at a few concerts, but not really um, spent that much time together. So it was really appreciative that she trusted in me into creating something. And yeah, it kind of was like I need other people to hear these experiences and to be able to know that there's a space that they can connect with other people that understand them, and they can sit and listen to a podcast and be like, yeah, yeah, like we are in the support group. So yeah, it's just felt a sense of passion that I'd never felt before.
I love that. That's amazing.
Amazing. So we know how much heart goes into this work, and um, we would like to know, what does your day-to-day actually look like behind the scenes? What is something that people don't see, for example? Aisha, let's start with you.
I'm really glad you have actually, because mine is probably the least exciting. So, yes. Day to day, I would say the most exciting part of the role that I like, which may not be liked to members, is so in my boring real life, I do some compliance work, which is exciting for me. And that also means that it's like been really helpful and translated into as ADHD Babes grows, and there's certain things that we have to do as a community to make sure that we're all up to date on certain pieces of information, or all members of the team are well informed. So I will do some work around that in the background for members of the team that are growing. So it's gotten to big numbers right now, which means that I'm in a lot of communication with a lot of the team. There's also like record keeping in terms of making sure the data is representative of how many events we do, how many attendees we have, like new attendees, keeping our donors informed of certain things, and stuff like that. So that's like based around the secretary type role. And then I'll also support Viv on some of the things that she does behind the scenes as well. So I may do like the first or second bit, and then Viv will finish it off. And then when you guys see it nicely coloured is after Viv has added her final touches onto it. And then outside of that, the real probably most exciting thing is that, so I co-lead Knit and Sips with my babe Aziza, and like we've expanded, so we've got a new member of the team, which is a babe Adore. So planning Knit and Sip is probably the most exciting, because we'll be talking about patterns and ideas and ways to teach, and Viv's just like, yeah. Yeah. but Aziza and I are so excited to be talking about these things. So so there's like some planning that goes into facilitating those sessions, so that babes have like a really good lesson plan, have something to take away from home, and then they enjoy the space as well. So yeah, that's a bit of me.
Amazing. I love that. Very, very busy. Oh my goodness. There's a lot going on behind the scenes for you, Ayesha.
Yeah.
How are you, Biv?
Day to day, it changes. My role is split in two. So it means I kind of juggling two hats. So I guess on the managing director side, it's managing the overall team and the business. Sometimes it slipped into more CEO type stuff, where it's more looking at the long-term vision, looking at our strategy, looking at all the boring things like making sure that we're compliant with ICO, or with Companies House, working with the accountant, all that jazz. There's all those boring bits. And then there's the stuff around, like onboarding new people, thinking about how we can support members of the team. All the like stuff to like make things happen as like a registered company. And then on the wellbeing, the director of wellbeing and outreach, that I found a lot more interesting and enjoyable. And it links in with my psychology background. That's more the designing and creating the outreach project. So all of our events and programs. So like the Knit and Sip, I let them lead because I don't understand it. But what I can do is the program inside of, working with Lucy, our admin lead, to get the information out to the babes, to create the Eventbrites, to get the feedback forms, applying for funding to make sure that we can put on these events, making sure that we don't have too many events at the same time or not enough events at the same time, just overseeing that overall outreach project and program. And then also like the internal well-being of the team. So thinking about how we can support people based on the feedback and noticing trends. So stuff like, people have mentioned a few times in support groups that they're struggling with finances, so that makes it hard to come to events. So then thinking about, okay, how do we plug that gap? Creating an emergency kind of financial aid fund based on that, or offering access support for events so that people know that they can get support to come to events if they're financially struggling. So kind of looking at well-being and the overall project, and then all the boring stuff behind the scenes. And then like Ayesha said, working with her to do things like supporting the team with compliance, like our safeguarding compliance. And Ayesha also, like, she didn't mention this, but she's very on top of, like, we have a long list we got like 30 people on the team, and we have to make sure that everyone's compliant, so people know that if you don't get your stuff in time, Aisha's coming for you.
She's come for me a few times, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm like, oh man, let me just do real quick.
Compliance is fun, guys. It's fun.
When you get that second email, you're like, oh my God, no.
Don't worry, I get it too, guys. I have to email myself.
Do you?
Yeah. You didn't do it. by the deadline. Yeah.
So all of
Amazing.
that stuff. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Viv. And how about you, Shauna?
For me, it's mainly working on how we expand the podcast. So I work a lot with kind of with Jules a lot to say, okay, what are we putting into the podcast? What kind of episodes do we want? Is thinking about how we create a space for the team members to grow in their own spaces. So we're split into 3 teams now, or trying to completely split into 3 teams. We're getting there. So we have the kind of hosts and participants, we have the script writers, and we have the editors, and it's kind of how can I make the process accessible to them? How can I make the actual process of being part of the team work with schedules, with needs, and also kind of how can I then create opportunities to have them grow. It's also working a lot with the marketing team and with Viv in getting the podcast out. How can we get to wider audiences? How can we let more people find us? How can we let more of the actual babes know that what we do and how they can join? And then it's also kind of, don't worry, I get Aisha's emails too, and I don't get them. I don't just get them for myself. I get them for the team too, and I'm like, oh, Aisha, flag important.
I don't know what you mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's also kind of like, along with the main ADHD based compliance, is how do we stay compliant, making sure that people have signed, for example, consent to show their visual images, for example, and how we grow from there, like what becomes of the podcast from where we are now, and what kind of future do we have. So I talk a lot with Jules, who I love having as our producer, and Viv, about kind of how that looks, and how we can actually make it happen. And yeah, I really love being able to go, oh, okay, this is what we need now. We had really good analytics on this. We should do more of that. And much like Aisha is into compliance, I get a bit obsessed with stats and data. So I have a little bit like, oh, we need to do another episode like this, Jules. This is good. This is good. Let's do this. So yeah, it's a lot of that.
Great.
And you know what?
Me
Yeah,
too.
let me tell you, when it comes to the podcast stuff, it's not just us with just mics. There's a whole system that's going on, and
Yeah.
let me tell you, Shauna is running the thing. So I definitely know we have our fair share of meetings for sure.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so I guess we can kind of like continue on, and I would love to know. So each of you carry a different space, a different part in this space. What part of your role brings you the most joy? And what has been the biggest challenge? And we can start off with you, Viv.
Gosh.
So I feel like I've just thrown you in the deep end.
I think the biggest challenge has probably been like managing, how do I say it? I guess managing parts of the growth that I didn't anticipate. Like I said earlier, when it started, it was literally just an idea of like just a space. Like the most I thought we was gonna get to is meetups. So for it to go from just like something casual on a Facebook chat to like register as an organisation, like applying for funding pots and like paying people and all of these things, it's like I didn't plan that. I didn't prepare myself. I didn't have specific training in like managing teams or financial projections and all these razzle dazzle terms. So I think that jump to being like, okay, this is an idea, but actually now this is real. Now there are people that you're supporting and you're leading a team, and there's actually a vision, and the vision that was in your head is actually now a real thing, and you have to get on with it. I think I found that really difficult, especially during a point of burnout where I took time off from my full-time work. So I think, that transition and trying to hold all of that without having the background support, I think was, probably the hardest part. The part that brings me the most joy, I think, is when we're together. I feel so lucky that I get to organise events. I always enjoyed event planning, but having the freedom to be like, oh, this would be nice, and then actually just being able to do it, or like doing an event and someone's like, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could do this? And I'm like, yes it would, and then just being able to make it happen feels really fun. Coming from an NHS background where there's like red tape around everything, you have an idea and it needs to go to HR and then come back from you and just ping like a pinball, and it never lands anywhere. So to go from that to like someone can have an idea today and then in 3 months' time, it's a real thing. And then just like the energy and the joy and the laughter and the jokes and the tears even, like, of people like feeling safe enough and supported enough to be able to feel out loud. It just makes me feel really happy. I'm just like, I can't believe I get to do this and I get paid to do this, and this is my occupation. So yeah.
Oh, that's so wholesome.
Amazing.
Like I completely understand. I think when you kind of just said like feeling happy about seeing people together and hearing like how impactful, sorry, I don't know if that's my mic, how impactful the community has been, is just really lovely. So I'm gonna change up a bit and go to Shauna. What within the role has brought you joy, and what has been your biggest challenge?
What brings me the most joy, I'm gonna say, like, just like listening to conversations and the laughter and the connections that the team make. Um, it's so nice to kind of sometimes see the conversations that we facilitate and how they can go on forever, because you know how we ADHDers are. Um, I love that. And definitely probably the analytics, because I'm a nerd like that. Um, the biggest challenge for me is stopping myself. So I, through producing over the last couple of years, I've definitely burnt out, and I do find myself going, oh, this might work on. Let me just do this on ClickUp. Let me just do this on the whatever it is I'm working on. Or what if we do this video? Oh, let me just look at this. So sometimes it's just like saying, no, Shauna, enough for today. Um, Tomorrow's another day, kind of thing. Just definitely kind of manage my excitement, because it's not even like, I think, actually, can I change my joy? Can I add to my
Of
joy?
course.
Um, the joy is working for for an organization that's not top down. I enjoy making decisions together as a community, as a team, um, and being able to kind of know that this is a really accessible space. So I never feel working here like you can't be honest about, like I said, like burning out. I'll be like, Viv, I'm sick. I need some time off. I need to do this, and that be understood. Whereas I feel like in a lot of workspaces, big organization or small organization, that's never gonna run. So yeah, that would also be my joy as well. Yeah.
That's cool. And yourself, Aisha?
I would say both the joy and challenges, or biggest challenge, is related to my pride and joy, which is knit and sip. So knit and sip is just my favorite thing in the world, and it's because it was born of a happy accident, because I went to, I think it was ADHD Babes. I don't remember if it was the second or the third birthday, and I had my knitting stuff with me, as I usually do, and Aziza sat next to me and she noticed I had a little knitting pin on, so it was like, oh, you knit, I knit too. oh my gosh, we should knit together, we should knit with ADHD Babes. And then from that, it just became a conversation, and then we presented to Viv, and then Knit and Sip was born. Knitting is one of my hobbies, one of my passions. So being able to share knitting in such a safe space with black women as well, black women with ADHD, black non-binary people, like it's really nice to be able to give the gift of knitting to others that also have that same interest. And it's like, I used to teach, so I've got that joy of seeing students take away their little piece with them as they leave, and then some people just come and they just excel past me as well. So it's really great. It's really nice to do that. And then I would say the biggest challenge as well in terms of Knit and Sip is maybe overestimating the capacity to do it sometimes. So like in my mind, I'll say to Viv, no, I want like not weekly, sorry, that's a bit far. Maybe monthly things, or like regular sessions all the time. And being able to deliver that. But then I think sometimes I forget that also comes with a lot of work that you don't see on the day. So like sort of like, I think maybe being harsh to myself in like, I want to be able to give this to the community, but also being mindful that, is this realistic with all the other responsibilities that we have, like within ADHD Babes and outside and just in normal life as well. So it's that want to be able to do it more, but also sometimes you have to take time, you know?
Facts.
Like it's not, you just have to manage it somewhat. So yeah, that's
Loving it.
mine.
Is it? I need to come to the
Amazing.
next one.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes, please. Yeah,
That's lovely.
yeah.
Now let's talk about burnt out for a second. It's real, right? Especially in neurodivergent led spaces. How do you look after yourselves while holding space for others, Shauna? Let's go with you first.
Um, I think sometimes it's like it can be quite difficult to kind of stop yourself because especially when you're as an ADHD, you love everything that you do, and there's so many different things you want to do, and you somehow find the time to do it, even though you don't have that time. Sometimes it is a little inevitable. Um, but I think it's also about like so I like to do Pilates. It's hard, but it also is, I find it quite relaxing. I like to try to be in nature as much as possible, even if it's just getting out of my house. And I work from home in all of the paths that I take in my working world. So sometimes getting outside is just something that you have to force yourself to do. Um, but yeah, getting outside, especially in the summer because you have to get that sunshine in.
Vitamin D.
Yeah, and I also kind of like just sitting and reflecting, and making sure I get in my self-care, like getting my nails done or having a massage or just, sitting watching something that you love. Like I try to make sure connecting with my family is something that I definitely do. I watch the Formula One with my cousin and my aunt as often as possible. Just making sure I keep those connections to people who lift me up, but also will remind me not to do too much because sometimes it's hard for me to manage myself. Um, so yeah, I think, finding something that is good for relieving stress and makes you relax, even though relaxing is difficult. But also like making sure you get that fresh air and you kind of remember your wins. And remember to kind of find something. Knitting was also something that I found quite relaxing. Although I confess, Aisha will be mad at me. I haven't knit in like a month or done any crocheting, but don't worry, I'm coming back to it. Don't worry, girl, don't worry. Um, yeah, just finding those things that quieten your brain, like knitting or crocheting is one of those things that I can be at home and I can be listening to an episode, but at the same time, my mind is quiet, because I'm doing something with my hands. It's kind of having that balance of actually this doesn't bring me stress or this doesn't actually need a lot of brain capacity to sit and do. It's those things that you kind of want to make sure that you fit into your life. And I also make sure that in my diary, I actually schedule doing nothing. Because if I don't put it in my schedule, it's not going to happen. So I'm like, no, actually, you're just going to sit and you're going to game, or you're going to knit, or you're going to look at videos of different patterns or find different patterns and stuff like that. So it's definitely a mixture of things. And they come at different times and different levels. I think obviously I go outside less because it's cold in the winter, but I will find other things to do. So it's like balancing them so they don't get boring. Um, and yeah, just making sure you keep those connections with the people that you love.
Amazing. Amazing. Would you like to add anything, Aisha?
Sometimes not well, if I'm honest, or yeah, not in a really great way. So I'm very like, I think like with many of us, it's very like 0 or 100. So there might be like something is going wrong right now, but I'm so focused on the delivery of what I need to do, um, that I'm like ignoring all the other things, or like the looking after that needs to happen. And obviously, if that keeps happening, that can lead to burnout or high levels of stress, or just like not being able to perform in the way that you'd want to perform. So it's great like having a really supportive team in Viv and Shauna, and so it's just like sometimes it's just a safe space just to vent, just to get the angries off the shoulder,
Yeah,
off the shoulders,
absolutely.
unclench the jaw, all of these
Shake.
sorts of things.
Good
Um,
old-
s- yeah. So just having that space is like it's really good for that. So it's really nice that we're able to hold a space like that for each other. And in terms of outside of that, when things are going well, and I'm able to sort of manage, then I have like loads of little hobbies that I do. Like I bake, I do gardening, I try to revive dying plants. Every now and then I spend a lot of time with family. I do dancing, I like cheese, like there's loads of things that I do. I also like beauty treatments as well, so it's been my birthday, guys, if you guys are thinking about anything. Yeah, so I try to do loads of these things to have nice pockets of brief moments as well. And also it's like reflecting. I feel like a Sunday morning reflection with some reggae in the
Ah,
background.
love it.
That's
Boy.
a
Yeah,
10-10,
yeah, love it.
10-10 experience for me. So yeah, there's small pockets of things, and I think I just like maybe like Shauna, maybe plan some things in so it happens more intentionally, so that I'm like read up. The battery pack is as high as it can be, uh, to wheel up and go again.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
Amazing.
it.
How about you, Vib? How do you look after yourself while holding space for others?
Similar to what Shauna and Aisha have said, being really intentional with time. So like on a Friday, I cheat every so often, but Friday is a self-care Friday. It's supposed to be a day of no working and just using it to rest and reset. Sometimes Shauna calls me out on it. Like, get first, You're right, I shouldn't be emailing you back. But yeah, most of the time, self-care Fridays and using the day to just pour into
Yes.
myself and reset. So that's like going to therapy, going gym, going sauna, going to meditation, going to a random vegan cafe and getting a cute little smoothie and whatnot. Yeah, going to a park and taking my shoes off. Like just, yeah, spending the time intentionally pouring into myself. And then beyond that, also just looking at weekly planning in a really, in a way that's very intentional. So looking at, okay, cool, if this week is, I'm out on a Monday, out on a Tuesday, by Wednesday I need to be thinking about how can I work from home, or how can I only take meetings with people in the team where, I don't need to come and present myself in a certain way, that I can just show up as I am. Or if it's a week where I'm on my cycle, it's like actually I only really want to be meeting with people I know this week, and I want to try and make it admin focused so I'm not having to overexert energy. So yeah, just like thinking about myself in a way that is like my life is planned around compassion and planned around what my strengths and weaknesses are, especially because I have fibroids as well. So when it gets onto my cycle, like I know it's going to be difficult, I know there's going to be pain involved and energy drops. So even that, all days where like, okay, I know 1 week is super busy, so by next week I need to make sure that it's the complete opposite and actually it's a lot more restful. And looking at that in a more seasonal way rather than like every day I need to be hitting the ground running. Yeah, just looking at myself and thinking about myself in that way. And then similar to Shauna and Ayesha as well, like having my own personal passions and interests. So I do music and performing arts, so finding time to write, record music, perform, and that always feels like it like, oh, welcome back. That feels like it fills my cup. And then things like journaling, like I read The Artist's Way, found that very, very helpful, and I still do the morning pages. Like I said, meditation as well. Trying to exercise, even if it's just a cute 6 minute stretch. Yeah, trying to input things like that on a regular basis. And yeah, friends and family, making sure that I'm, even if it's not on a regular basis, because everybody's working, you get to adulthood and suddenly it's just so hard to make time because there's bills to pay. Yeah, there's so many things happening, but just trying to make sure that at least once a week I'm speaking to people, or once a month checking in with people. Yeah, just making life bigger and trying to, the mindset thing of like, if I can't do this right now, what is it that I need, rather than beating myself up about why I'm not doing it. Like if my to-do list is too long, then my to-do list is too long. It's not that I'm not working hard enough. So also shifting how much I'm putting on my plate
Absolutely.
and making sure I'm not holding it alone, which also is done in reflective practice. I also see a psychologist once a month and do a thing called reflective practice, where it's like talking about the difficulties that are coming up and preempting things or celebrating the wins. Yeah, and thinking about how I'm carrying myself. So I think all of those things together make a big difference.
Amazing. Reflective practice. That's something I would definitely would want to do as well to look after myself and my well-being. One of the ones that you talked about, look, the Friday, but it's just a day for you to do things for you and yourself. I do that. I try to do that on a Tuesdays, but it doesn't really plan out as well as I would like to. But it's very, very important to have those, to do all these things to look after your well-being and to avoid,
Try.
yeah, the burnt out. Absolutely. Um, how do you stay connected to the mission, especially like on the harder days? I will stay with you, Vabe, as well, because might as well.
How do I stay connected to the mission? I think it's helpful having an amazing team. Um, Shauna, Ayesha, Lucy, who's our admin lead, and we recently onboarded 3 new people who are like heading different sections of our outreach program. It's really, really helpful to like when you're having a really hard time. And like Shauna said, we make decisions as a collective. We use a distributed model of decision making. So something could be happening, even though it's in my remit, I could still come to the group chat and be like, "Hey guys, what do you think about this?" And it can just be nice to be reminded of what works and what doesn't work, or just hear somebody else's point of view, so it doesn't feel like I'm carrying it alone. So that really helps, and I think also just the babes themselves, like when we leave a space and people are like really, really grateful, they're saying that they've been looking forward to this for a long time, or like people have said that being in the space has literally saved their life. So for me, that is more than enough of a like propeller to be like on those hard days, because often like most of the stuff we do is behind the scenes, like the amount of hours we're putting in and meetings we're having to like put on a single event. So on the outside it will just be like, oh nice, there's an event, or like, oh rah, okay, they've got free, like we do like 3 events a week. Like there's so many things happening behind the scenes to keep that going on a regular basis. There's a whole ecosystem going on, so it is hard to do that in silence all the time and to kind of just have to keep getting on with it. So those moments of people coming back and saying how much they feel held or seen or validated, or like the space feels different to other spaces, it's just those things really sit. So it's like, actually, it's not, even though you can do things in silence, you can see the impact out loud. So I think that makes a big difference for me.
Amazing, amazing. How about you, Shauna?
Give me the question, please.
Yeah, the question is, how do you stay connected to the mission, especially on the harder days?
Yeah, I think I agree with Viv. Definitely the people, the team, the babes. Um, going, I think even when you're having a bad day, I've always said this to Viv. I said even when I'm having that kind of time and that space where I um I'm a bit of a recluse and I'm kind of feeling maybe a little bit close to being like, oh, this is all too much. A babes event will always get me out of my house. Like it doesn't matter what it is. A babes event is always going to get me out of the house. So definitely the babes. I love um I love we Viv will come to our meetings. She'll be like, "Oh, just got some feedback for you, babe. Here you go." And I'm like, I love hearing that feedback as well. And like just having that kind of yeah, I'm doing something good for um it's being appreciated and um it's necessary to kind of just keep going and the hard work is worth it. And I love seeing members of the team grow. Like you can see watch people kind of go from just being dotted here and there to actually kind of being, oh yeah, I love this, or bringing ideas and oh, can I do this? And um, yeah, so especially if I've had a long day like working, and then I'm like, okay, I need to get out of, I need to finish work on time because I have to get to the theatre so that I can coordinate that. I'm like, I'm gone, I'm out. So yeah, definitely the babes, watching them grow and just the way that they make me feel and the feedback that we get.
So, how do you stay connected to the mission, especially on the harder days, Aisha?
I think it's just echoing what Vivienne and Shauna said. It's really remembering the response and the reaction from the babes, from the members. Like when you're in the space, so even though it might take a lot of work to get there, a lot of planning and organizing, like it's a very magical space, a very safe space. People leave feeling re-energized. They feel leave feeling seen, feeling heard. So it's really the want, need, and desire to keep providing those spaces for people that look like us, that experience life like we do. Um, and then, of course, we have ongoing feedback forms. So you get the feedback from babes all the time. So it's like, you could be having a rubbish day and you just get, oh, feedback popped up. Let's have a look at that. Or we have like ongoing conversations in the group chat. Sometimes people share their wins. So it's really nice to see that. Or someone shares, the way in which they experience it. And it's just a reminder that, wow, like a lot of us are experiencing life in the same ways, need support in the same ways, and we're able to give that to each other. So, yeah, we don't stray too far from it because there's always a nice reminder of what we're doing, how it's benefiting our babes as well. So, it helps on the tough days for sure.
That's the beautiful thing because, and that's going to lead me to our next question, which is obviously the ADHD Babes community has grown so beautifully. Um, from the support groups to the events and to the outreach program and everything in between, aka also the podcast, if y'all didn't know. Um, what impact have you felt or witnessed that has kind of stuck with you? And this is a question for all three of you, but I would love to start with Shauna, since I've kind of bigged up the podcast. So over to you, Shauna.
Um, Honestly, watching the team expand, so like going from it just being me and then kind of being like, oh yeah, come do this, to people actually being like, no, actually, I want to do this, or getting emails going, oh, can I be on your podcast? Like, um, and then like being able to say, okay, actually, I want to, it's not just me. I work with a team and I work with amazing individuals in all places, so not just the podcast team, but with Viv and Aisha and even some of the other babes that have joined us in different roles to kind of really work out how we connect the community in each of the spaces that we have. But yeah, the podcast, it's been how we've kind of gone from one person to a whole team of people doing an amazing job in making the podcast even better. I'm really excited about its future.
And you, Viv, over to you.
What was the question again?
So I guess from kind of like the support group and like the events to like outreach program and everything in between, what impact have you felt or witnessed that's kind of like stuck with you?
I think the impact that has stuck with me the most has been, I kind of mentioned it earlier, where there's some people that have said that, yeah, it's been like finding the space and finding people that understand them has been like life-saving for them. I think also seeing the growth of people in different areas of their life. So we turn 5 in October. There's people that have joined and I've like seen them go through like really, really difficult times with mental health to being like, you know, to feeling more grounded, to feeling more like feeling more resourced to take on challenges and difficulties, and then seeing them be like, actually cool, I want to work with you guys, or I want to put on a project, or I want to put on an event, and then seeing them do that, and then seeing people grow beyond that to starting their own things. And yeah, like I feel like I've been able to see people's actual life progression in a short space of time, and for people to credit the space to that, and to say that actually, yeah, I was able to like build my confidence back, or you know, I was able to get paid at a time where I wasn't working in other spaces because I came to a focus group, and then now I've got money to like pay for my put food in the fridge. Like that to me makes that means a lot. Like this is real people's lives. So yeah, I think that, and being able to witness that in a way where it's not like it's not performative. It's not like we're forcing people to tell us like sob stories and make it all dramatic. People are actually just showing up as themselves and feeling like they can do that. And we're just literally seeing their life progress in real time. So sometimes it's like, I'll even be like, oh, by the way, have you just realized that 2 years ago you said this and now you're doing that? And that feels like a real privilege. So I think that impact is real. But also going from, we started the membership, I think it's 3 years ago or 2 years ago. So to go from that, and the first year we had 80 members, and now we're on 330 something. I think it's 332. It's like, right, that's a big deal. That's a big village. So, yeah.
And growing.
Yeah, man.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
it.
Period.
Bigger and better.
Come on.
Um,
Forward ever.
and yourself, Aisha? I'll repeat the question again. So, what impact have you felt or witnessed that's kind of like has really stuck with you?
I think it's kind of linked to my previous answer, like the experience of the babes. Like, so at the beginning and end of every session, we'll do a check-in, a check-out. People will share how they're feeling. At the beginning of the session, a lot of the time, people will say, you know, how anxious they're feeling, or the day has been just really overwhelming. They're just over it, they're hot, they're tired, all of these sorts of things. And then by the end of the session, like, we're all feeling grounded. Even though we were worried about the journey, we're all really happy to be there. We've taken away something from the session, and not taken away as in you need to take something physical away with you, but like the spirit is healing, like the mind and body is feeling good being in the space. So that's always really powerful to witness, especially days on, sadly I live out of ends, so I'm like, I might be even like some of the babes, like I'm tired by the time I've got there, but by the time I've left, I'm like, yeah, this was worth the journey every single time, worth that zone 8 journey, like really, really, really worth it to be with everyone. And then additionally as well, in terms of like watching the team grow, so recently we did like our first sort of like formal interviews, and the feedback from the interviews was great because the way Vivienne created it was like it didn't mirror a stereotypical interview process. It was very accessible from beginning to end. And then that meant that people were able to show up in a way that they wanted to show up in an interview to give their best self. And then were even able to explain how passionate they are about ADHD babes and what they would like to bring. And it was such a great space. Like it was so nice. It was so difficult. Like, oh wow. we have to make a decision now. So I was happy that I only had to do one of the 2 interview days, because I was like, "Viv, there's no way. This is too nice. People are too nice for this." So like, they're just so great. The candidates were so great as well. So it's really interesting that the love, desire, want, need to be a part of ADHD Babes has grown to the point where, like, formal interviews are happening. They're really accessible for everyone. The candidates are just 10/10, um, which just shows, like, the growth and direction that ADHD Babes is going as well, I think.
Love that. I love that. And just to echo what all of you have said, and particularly Viv, because I don't know, I might have sent a message at one point when I was initially a member, and I was like, "This space is so amazing! It saved my life." I remember going into like the first oh my god, the first online support group, and I was like, wow, like hearing everything that people had to say, I was like, are they in my head? Like, there's people that are going through the same things I was going through. I ain't crazy, kind of feeling. But it felt like I knew everyone in that space, and that was my first time there. And just to kind of go on the fact that I've been able to stay within ADHD Babes, and because of just seeing the passion behind what everyone has been doing, has made me even more passionate to be a part of the podcast. And I remember kind of thinking, because I'd come from a background from having a podcast and been like, yeah, I ain't gonna do that again. It was fun for what it was. And just being kind of like, okay, yeah, I don't mind, hosting an episode, and then be like, actually, I do like this. And then kind of like still connecting with Shauna. And then all of a sudden I became the lead host. Then it was like, how about being a producer? I was like, how did I get here? But do you know what? I was just so passionate about ADHD Babes and the
Yeah.
community. And that was because of the fact that everyone has built and like brought their passion into it. So it just felt like it was home.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to echo everything that's coming from somebody who isn't part of leadership, but kind of just as someone who, started off with just going to one support group and then ended up going to a couple, then ending up hosting a podcast episode, and then just kind of just see the growth. It's such a beautiful thing to see. And I guess this is a question for Viv. I'd love to get everyone's answers, but we got time. But I would love to ask you, Viv, what has this 5-year journey taught you about leadership, kinship, and community?
I think I'll do it in parts because I'll forget. Starting with leadership, I think it's taught me that you have to lead by example. I remember when I got burnt out and I had to take off. I took off time from work, and I took off a couple months to recover. And that was probably the first time that I was like, actually, yeah. Someone emailed and was like, I hope you feel better soon. And thank you for saying out loud that you're taking a break, because actually you're like mirroring the thing that we talk about like looking after ourselves and capacity and things like that. And then just as an ongoing thing in my mind about like leadership is not something that it's not something that you talk about, like you actually have to do it. And that it's not something that is, it doesn't need to be conventional. There's lots of things that I do as the manager or the managing director or the founder that it's not things that I've learned from work. It's been things that I've learned from people, just like people in my life that I see as leaders, or like I'm happy to trust what they say, or like I believe in what they're doing because of how they treat me and other people, or even just how they show up in their vulnerability. So yeah, this concept of leadership is very malleable, and I think doing it in a community space and also doing it in a way where we're not trying to be like everything else. Like, we are a community interest company, but the community interest is in capitals. Like, it's not about profit. So even thinking about like what's the intention behind this? Are we focused on productivity, or are we focused on the people? And because everybody in the team is intentionally a member of the community, it's like actually the people come first, not the productivity. So if it's at the expense of the people, then it doesn't work. So even just like getting to grips with that, because I'm like, go, I want to get this done. And then also being like, but actually you're thinking about people. So I think, there's something there around like personalizing leadership in a way where it's about who you're leading and also who you are as a person. Because I know I have my own personal traits. I'm quite laid back. I'm quite relaxed. Sometimes I don't need to do that because sometimes you need to be a bit more on it. You need to be a bit more forward and get into grips with that as well. Where actually sometimes I'm going to say some things or do some things and I might not be liked, or I might rub somebody up the wrong way, and then kind of accepting that, have to drop the people pleasing a little bit and just deal with the fact that might be the case. So all of that has been a very big learning curve. With community and kinship, I think it's definitely taught me that the reason why we are divided so much in the West is because when we come together, we are literally remarkable. Like, the amount of power in the collective, unmatched. Of course they don't want us to be together. Of course they're trying to keep us divided. Of course they're trying to stress you out so much that you get home and the only thing you want to do is focus on yourself and think about what you're going to eat for dinner and then chuck on the next Netflix thing and then get to bed. Because when we're together, we can do all those things and then we do it in a way where we feel held. So I think it's just taught me that, community is actually the resource. Like, the power is here. And we've seen that. That's been the thing about movements, especially as Black people, with our civil rights movements, resistance to slavery, like the women's movements, the suffragette movements, in the LGBTQ movements that Black women are constantly at the lead and forefront of. The power has always come from people coming together and building from that, and that they are terrified of that. So I think actually seeing it happen, they should be scared. They should be terrified.
Yeah.
Like,
They're running their boots.
We woke.
literally
We woke.
shaking. So I think seeing that happen in real time, and I always say to people that I couldn't have done it without the people. Like, of course, like I can say that I'm proud of myself for having the initial vision and idea and like leading on the aspects, but this space would not exist without everybody on the team, without all the babes that show up with an open and pure heart and like pour into each other. It is the actual people that make the thing beautiful. I can't do that by myself, because if I did all of that and then everyone came and there were bad vibes, it would be dead. So it's actually the people. So yeah, just seeing the strength in real time and being like, wow, like now 5 years later, we literally have a team where we can pay people. We can pay everybody on the team to do what they're doing. That's wild.
It's wild.
We were working for 2 years volunteering. Like, so I think that like we are so powerful when we're together. So really focusing on that, and not allowing the things that separate us to be bigger than the things that bring us together is important.
Brilliant. I love it. Absolutely amazing. Thank you. Every time I always have to stop myself, because every time you talk, Viv, I'm just like, oh gosh, I want to be like her when I grow up.
I also just wanted to add, like, Viv is very, like, I characterize Viv as the person in the room that makes you want to help her. How can I help you?
Yes.
She
Thank you.
just like embodies like how can I help you? Like how
Yes.
can I make your life a little bit easier, or like could expand to your group? And I think that's why we have the community that we have, is big a tribute to her dedication and creating the space in the right way. Like it comes like we're not a top-down company, but yet it comes from the top down in certain ways.
Yeah.
Thank
And I
you.
also just wanted to highlight how the recognition that we've got over the last year especially.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been nominated for, was it 3 or 4 awards?
3, and then I think
Three.
I got one personal one, and we
Yes,
got
you
one
did.
next
You
month.
did.
This month,
Yeah, this
this
Yeah.
month.
week.
Tomorrow.
Well, it
Is
by the
it
time this
tomorrow or
comes out, it'll be
Friday?
last month.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We
you
got one
guys
last month.
won. Well done. Yeah,
Blah, blah, blah.
y'all won.
Yes,
Come on, we gotta speak it into the universe. What we
bravo.
doing?
We have won. We have won. We have an award. We have an award.
And more to come, do you know what I mean? Like I feel like it's so embodies the space that she started and wants to create. And I've never been in a space where absolutely everyone is just so passionate about giving back to this community. It's just so inspiring. So also, yeah, big up Viv.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
I appreciate
much.
that, man.
And looking forward, actually, we're looking forward to the future and the vision. What do we have, for ADHD babes? What's something exciting that you're dreaming of for our future and yeah, for the coming years, I guess, for our vision?
Who's that to?
Ah, that's to anyone. That's to the three of you. Let's go with Aisha first.
Um, okay. Well, I think for many of us who were diagnosed quite late, it's because we weren't seen in the spaces that we need to be seen.
That's right.
And I think if we were fortunate enough to have a connection or like a teacher or a pastoral support worker in school who supported us or saw us a little bit, like I think all of us would have been very attached to that person in some ways, and they don't even like know the impact that it made on us being able to have them as a safe space. So for me, especially as I used to work in schools, I'd like to see ADHD babes in schools. Especially like I used to see initiatives for it's like more under behavioral issues, and it would be maybe sports related, heavily focused on boys, but
Mm,
really that's how boys may need it. But what about the way girls need it in schools and
100%.
interventions that they would benefit from for an hour here and there throughout the week, throughout the term or the half terms to ensure that they have a safe space, a safe person, um, because schools are such busy places and you've got amazing pastoral staff and amazing safeguarding needs and safeguarding members of staff, but there's so many students and really you need some more direct intervention. So I'd like to see ADHD babes in schools providing those space for those black, young black people, young black girls, young black non-binary people as well. So it's just like, yeah, that's what I'd like.
Amazing. How about you, Shauna?
Um, I feel what Aisha just said. I definitely do. I feel like that is paired also with um education for our age and above. In what they don't know, there's still a load of us out there that are undiagnosed and unknown to the way that their mind works, and that everything is not as it seems. So get hit in there. But I'm also really excited for, I think I was saying the other day, like I can't believe how much I've grown already and just how much everybody has grown in different aspects of the community, that the more that we heal and the more that we keep doing what we're doing, how much we can achieve, all the different projects that we can do in the upcoming, like 10 years time, in fact another 5 years. Why, I don't know if we can be like calling ourselves a small community, you know what I mean? We'll be doing things because we've achieved so much in this time already. Even if we did that again, it'd be so much more. So I'm really excited for all the projects and the learning and the outreach that we can do.
Amazing. Well done. Yes. Really looking forward to all these ideas and all these visionary plans that go along with our mission as well. I love, 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 love being part of this community as well.
What I'm looking forward to, what I'm imagining is one, I would love for us to have a physical space. I'm going to keep saying that at every
Oh
opportunity
my.
until it lands onto some spirit's lap and they will it into real life. So I hope God is listening. So yeah, physical space, more things in physical space. I want to obviously keep our online spaces. That's always going to be there as a given for access and just having it. But yeah, more things in person. We have lots of babes based in the US. We have babes based in the Midlands. So I'd love to have physical meetings and spaces for them as well, and also our equity work. So when we first started, I created like this brief of the different pillars and how we can make a difference, and one of them was about equity and systems change. But it was just very difficult to do because the day-to-day stuff took up all the time. But the last 18 months, we've had some funding, one from Trust for London and more recently from Paul Hamilton, to really make time to look at that. So I'm really hoping in the next couple of years we can flesh out this idea of equity work. We've created these 10 paths of equity as a community, and hopefully that can include stuff like the work in schools, also things like friends and family spaces where we can actually have babes put on workshops and sessions where family and friends can come and learn about ADHD from our perspective, and then know how to best support us. And actually a friends and family support group, because sometimes it can be hard for them as well. We don't know what they're experiencing on the other side. So if they can go away and have some healing spaces as well, and we all come together healed, then that can make the relationships so much more wholesome. So things like that. And yeah, for a long time we've been talking about a retreat. So again, hopefully, God willing, next year we get a bit more funding to be able to do that. Yeah, just cross all the things, praise up, for us to come together and just catch a beautiful vibe of healing together somewhere in the woods or on a beach. Let's see where the money goes. So yeah,
We can
that kind of
vote.
stuff. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm opting for the beach. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Wood is fun,
Wood.
but me, I need some sunshine, some sand,
Yeah.
and some
I'm here
beach.
for that. Barbados,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Wow. Not
For
even Europe,
real.
straight over there.
Straight to
Yeah.
Barbados.
8 hours
We need to
flight.
be putting our money into black
Continent.
countries, like, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I want fresh coconuts.
Mm-mm.
exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dream.
What an
Yeah.
episode. Thank you so much, Viv, Aisha, Shauna,
Thank
for being
you.
here today. I want to do something. It's very impromptu. I know some of us have been drinking teas and coffees, but I want to like raise a little glass. I got
Boy.
my bottle here. If you got a little glass or something,
It's so
Come on.
funny because I've got my from earlier.
anything. Do you know what I mean? We have ADHD, so whatever works in it. And I just want to say congratulations to 5 years of ADHD babes. Like it's been a journey, and here is to 5 more, and
Yes.
another 5 more, and 10 more, and building an
Boy.
even bigger community internationally, globally, everywhere. Do you know what I mean? So here's to 5 years. Well done.
Cheers. Cheers.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Cheers for that.
Yeah.
Wait,
Um,
boy.
So
and
excited.
Love
honestly,
that.
and
Come on.
honestly, like I want to echo by saying that you guys have led with care by creating this space for Black women and non-binary people with ADHD where they can feel seen, understood, and celebrated. And honestly, you are ADHD babes. We all are, and we just want to say thank you,
Thank you.
honestly. And like I'm gonna say it again, like passion is what's keeping me here. Like honest to God, I and the community, and I appreciate it, and I'm sure Anna feels the same way. I
Yes.
don't want to talk for Anna, but you know I could waffle on, but yeah, honestly, thank you.
Yes. No,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Jules.
This is what I guess keeps me going. I mean, I could be extremely tired, I could be sick, I could be whatever, and I will give it 110%. Sometimes I give it 50%, but because it is my passion, I'm like, I'm not even gonna stop. I'm gonna give it whatever percentage I have left in me because it is something that I'm really, really, really passionate about. But before we wrap up, is there anything exciting coming up that you'd like to share with our listeners? And where can, where can folk find you online? Where can people find you online as well?
So things to look forward to. We have our 5 year anniversary celebration, and that will be on the 18th of October. 5 years. That's a little toddler. So that will be on the 18th, and that will be in the Africa Centre. So yeah, that will be a vibe. Any last minute funders or people that want to sponsor, feel free to drop us a DM or drop us an email. We love a little goodie bag. And then from November onwards, we're going to keep having events. We're going to work with Black Girl Finance and do an event on ADHD and managing finances. And we're also planning with our new creativity and wellness manager, Oluwatosin. We're thinking about transitions. We already did a session last week on transitioning into autumn, where we went to the community baths in Bermondsey, and had a session, like nice sauna session, just about that. So we're thinking about doing that again for the winter month, thinking about how we can transition from autumn to winter. So that might look like a little celebration, a little ceremony, a little vibe. Yeah, and then we'll come to the end of the year where it's all about us planning. So there'll be lots of feedback forms going out to the babes. asking them what they think and what they'd like and imagine for 2026. So yeah, lots of good things coming. I'm sure more will pop up last minute, but for now, that's what we got.
Brilliant. How about you, Shauna?
I missed the question,
The
sorry.
question is, is there anything exciting coming up that you'd like to share with our listeners? And where can folk find you online? You know, but you can say that after.
Um,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah, so definitely we're looking forward to celebrating. Obviously, there's gonna be more on celebrating ADHD Babe's 5th birthday this month, outside of this episode. We're also gonna be rehashing some of those really popularly requested episodes, which I'm really looking forward to. Um, and we're going to be, we would have just released our first in-person proper group episode. So we're definitely going to be doing some more of that. And I don't want to speak too soon on some of the things that I have planned because I don't want to like put them too much into either because there's no date set.
Good,
But yeah,
good.
definitely more from the podcast team.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Did I? You can find me on. You can contact me. Was that what you asked?
Yes. So where can
Um,
people connect with you outside of ADHD Babes?
on Instagram at Shay_Cam. Um, that's probably about it. And you can just, if you need to, if you're interested, you can want to be on the Babes, want to interview, want to interview us, you can email podcast at ADHD Babes, which won't lie, will go through Jules.
Thank you, Shauna. Aisha?
I think I'll keep a tight lip on my now. Let's just,
Boy.
I hear it.
yeah. Sometimes you need to let the ideas manifest themselves a bit more before you share.
Jeez.
And then, even back in one of my old comments was, wanting to do more for the babes. So I wouldn't want to say, and then, get myself excited. And then it doesn't come to pass. So we'll see. But yeah, especially, the warmer time is my time to shine. So we'll see. Hopefully
Hmm.
there'll be some things around that time when it gets nice and
Good. Where can people find you outside of ADHD Babes, the podcast?
warm. Yeah. Well, it depends what they want to find me for. I have many aliases. I have many aliases. Like, even sometimes, when we're doing check-ins, I'm like, oh wait, what did I tell you guys my name was last time? I don't remember.
That's right.
Because people call me so many, like I've got so many different names, like a true Jamaican. I've got so many different names.
Come on.
Um, yeah, so they can find me
Oh my
on Instagram.
gosh.
I've got two pages. My main page is King with a K, Kush1, so KXNGKUSH1. So that's for all things glitz and glamour. And then sort of the page I'm trying to create, which is like a creative baking, artsy, a bit of like a little bit of outlets type page is Kick It with Kush. So yeah, I'm on Instagram. Outside of that, you don't want to see me outside of that because I work in compliance. So it's not.
Thank
She does.
you.
Aisha doesn't know it yet, but she's going to be back on the podcast. So watch this
Jeez.
space.
Come on. Recall.
Yes. Yeah.
I forgot to share my socials.
Yeah, please do, Viv.
Sorry. You can find me on Instagram as well. My personal Instagram is VVN Sings, so Victor November Sings. I'm on Twitter as well with the same, and TikTok, and then also on LinkedIn, which I'm trying to use more because apparently that's what you're supposed to do. So yeah, you can also find me on LinkedIn as Vivienne Isebo. Yeah, and you can find more of my music stuff on there as well if you do follow me.
Yeah,
Thank you,
definitely
Viv.
follow Vivian on YouTube.
Oh yes, and YouTube. Oh yeah, and Spotify. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big up the things. Come on.
YouTube and Spotify. That's the most important ones as well. Like,
Mm. Yeah, on Spotify it's Vivienne, Victor Victor November. Yeah.
I love that. And to our listeners, if you have found a sense of home at ADHD Babes, consider supporting us. It's our 5 years, so please do. This could mean by signing up as a member, donating, or even sharing this podcast with your people. Every bit helps us to keep us doing this beautiful work.
Amazing. You can join the conversation on our Discord or WhatsApp group for members. You can follow us on socials at ADHD Babes. Subscribe to our YouTube for the video version of this podcast. And most importantly, stay connected. We're building this together. Thanks for listening and see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.
Boy, 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 boy.
Wow.
Thanks for listening to this episode of ADHD Babes, the podcast. If you're a Black woman or non-binary person and need help and support in managing your ADHD or advice on diagnosis, please visit adhdbabes.com. No clinical diagnosis is required to join. Join us in 2 weeks for a new episode. Until then, all the love from the ADHD Babes team.
Just as I am, can you take me just as